It started like any normal morning, calm, confident, and completely unprepared for what would break in hours.
Everyone believed the system would hold, because it always had.
Then the first warning arrived, short, urgent, and easy to dismiss. And that's how the day began to split. The reports didn't match. And that's how the day began to split.
But these figures are impossible, Colonel.
And then the message became an order.
This is where it broke. Not with bullets, with ink.
He knew it felt wrong, but the machine demanded a decision.
Once an order moves, it becomes unstoppable, like fire in dry grass.
The front line didn't understand the plan. It only understood fear.
Retreat spread like a rumor, unconfirmed, but obeyed.
France had built defenses, but not a way to keep people inside them.
When everyone talks at once, nobody hears the truth!
The map wasn't wrong. Reality was changing too fast.
That gap didn't look like defeat. It looked like nothing. And that's why it was deadly.
The retreat didn't stay military. The entire country joined it.
An army can survive fear, but not without fuel. Firepower means nothing when the brain stops speaking.
And then the voices vanished.
They tried to rebuild control on paper.
Now the system wasn't just scared. It was arguing with itself.
They expected resistance. Instead, they found silence.
The army began to move like broken pieces, not one force.
Occupation didn't begin with gunfire. It began with stamps.
Rules didn't vanish. They were simply abandoned under pressure.
The road became a moving city of fear. The army didn't lose supplies in battle. It lost them to chaos. The enemy didn't break in. They were invited by emptiness.
They didn't win a battle. They entered a collapse.
They looked for the front and found only movement.
The cities didn't see tanks first. They saw fear. When truth disappears, the loudest rumor becomes law. Control was still being performed, long after it was gone.
They didn't abandon gear because they were defeated, only because they were terrified of being trapped.
When the army runs, the people run harder.
By afternoon, panic reached the state.
When leadership flees,
the country feels it instantly.
Command didn't hold the line. It backed and moved. Orders arrived after they stopped mattering.
They stopped asking for the plan. They started waiting for the end. The day didn't end in a battle. It ended in surrender-shaped silence.
By afternoon, the war reached the cities, without arriving like a war.
Authority still existed, but only as a gesture.
The roads weren't conquered, they were left open.
At stations, you could feel it. People weren't fleeing the enemy. They were fleeing uncertainty.
Everyone waited for orders. The orders never came.
Information became a weapon, used by fear, not strategy.
Curfew didn't need to be announced. Fear enforced it.
When the radio went silent, the country became blind.
He wasn't updating a map. He was erasing an army.
You can fight an enemy, but you can't fight collapse. They expected resistance. Instead, they found silence.
Occupation didn't begin with gunfire. It began with stamps.
A country doesn't scream forever. Eventually, it goes quiet.
By evening, the rules changed. Not slowly, immediately.
The question wasn't how to win anymore. It was how to stop bleeding.
No dramatic last stand. Just weapons placed down, like a sentence ending.
Even prayers became private.
The future didn't explode. It simply stopped.
A collapse creates a vacuum. Someone always fills it.
At night, the streets belonged to whoever carried a weapon.
Normal life returned, but it returned afraid.
The truth arrived in print after everyone already felt it.
The war was packed into boxes, so the house could pretend. But the defense was still there. The belief in them was gone. Collapse doesn't always look like explosions. Sometimes it looks like emptiness. Symbols changed first, because symbols are easier than reality.
Some people escaped the day. Most people lived inside it.
Sometimes history is one small object left behind.
The land looked the same. The nation didn't.
The day ended the way it began, on paper.
Panic doesn't last forever. It hardens into routine. The most dangerous weapon that day wasn't a tank. It was confusion. Speed didn't just move armies. It outran decision-making. One day was enough to break everything. History doesn't always explode. Sometimes it dissolves. When everything breaks at once, the war is already over.